Our next speaker is Dr. Mahesh Bhatt. Dr. Mahesh Bhatt is a surgeon, author, and a public health consultant. He focuses on the spiritual dimension of health, medical ethics, and climate change impact on public health systems. Dr. Bhatt,
Yes, it's finally it is here. Is it visible now?
yes, sir, it is visible. Yes, sir.
So, good morning, all of you, and all the participants, and uh, all of you. So, the today we are going to. I would like to speak on the spiritual dimension of health in healthy aging and longevity. So, first of all, if we start talking about the this topic, we need to define spirituality. What spirituality is, uh, because it is necessary to have a definition that exactly what we call the spirituality. So it has got the multiple definitions. It's very complex to define. It is ambiguous many times, and all of it lead to this connection with the religiosity and the religions, and people often take it as synonymous and similar to religion or religiosity. And in religiously diverse healthcare teams, it has problems to deal with the spiritual dimension of health. The thought model of spirituality define spirituality based on evolutionary biology. So, this evolutionary biology says that the things evolved from simple to complex one, like from a single cell animal to a multicellular animal, especially like mammals. So it happens with their products as well. So the simple thought process of the religious or social thought process, where the animals, they tend to make groups. So all the religions, they are the group of the human beings, the species Homo sapiens, and that is the center point of this is the faith. Then we evolved the scientific thought process and philosophical thought process, and it happens when around 75,000 years ago there was the cognitive revolution, when in our brain, the prefrontal cortex and frontal cortex, that evolved exceptionally, and it creates the human mind, and that human mind was the cognitive human mind. I am audible, I think, all of you.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes, sir, we
Yeah,
can hear you.
yeah. So these thought process that creates the cognitive human mind out of the human brain. Human brain is an organ of species that is Homo sapiens. And finally, the spiritual thought process is the most evolved human thought process, you can say, and that's why it has got the multiple definitions. It is very complex, it is very ambiguous, because it is very complex, kind of complex thought process. It is highly evolved thought process, and that's why it is not possible just to define it with one definition, and that leads to multiple definitions and multiple problems. Simultaneously, it is equally important that with the evolution, with the development of the human brain, with the age, the spirituality that becomes more and more prominent with the advancement of age. So, when we look at the healthy aging, the WHO definition, it says that it is the process of the uh, uh, development and maintaining the functional abilities that enables well-being and health in age, during age. So this functional ability is something which is related with our basic needs, mobility, learn, grow, and decision making, building and maintaining relationships, and contributing to society. So now this aging process that starts with day one, when uh, any human being come into this earth, in life, and after birth, you can say. So the aging process starts with day one. So aging process is a continuous process. So it's not the process that starts at 60 or 70 or 80. If you see the biologically, the aging starts throughout the life. We are aging. So right now we are aging. Right now we are sitting here, we are listening someone. So we are aging. So our aging process is a continuous process, and that leads to the all these things: our basic needs, our mobility, we learn, grow, and decision making, and we build and maintain our relationship. So aging is not the process that as if it is happening after 60 or after 50 or after 40. It's not like that. Aging starts from day one of our life, and that process continuously go on. So in that, if we look at this, we will see that there are conceptual synergies. There are conceptual synergies and conflicts of the spiritual dimension of health in healthy aging. The thought model of spirituality to solve conflicts and promote synergies through understanding the thought process behind spirituality and healthy aging, and preventing its exploitation. So the thought process is uh, is based on the evolutionary biology and neurobiology. And here we can understand throughout this presentation that why the spirituality is a different thought process, and it is different from the religious thought process. So how it we can say that it is there are synergies and similarities with aging. As I already told you, that aging is not something related with the what you call it, the certain age, say after 50 or 60 or something. It's not like that. So aging is a continuous process. So it is that uh, when we create a thought, we try to create a thought process model of the spirituality. We explore multiple definitions of spirituality. We explore WHO frameworks of healthy aging, and we further divide them in conceptual points or thoughts to find out conceptual synergies and conflicts. And finally, we examine the thought model of spirituality. So why we found what we found that spirituality have all positive thoughts. So all the definitions, we whatever we found there in in the say in literature, we found that uh, all the definitions define the positive thoughts of spirituality. So what are the positive thoughts? So the positive thoughts are all those thoughts which are good for not only for human life, but for all kind of life. So all the thoughts, all positive thoughts, they are pro-life. While the negative thoughts are generally those thoughts which creates some type of the conflicts, or some type of these negativities in our thinking, and that also affects our biochemistry in a negative way. So that is the different dimension, and it has got many positive and negative impacts on our biochemistry and physiology, and that reflects in our behavior, that reflects on our work, that reflects on our mood, and that creates a lot of anxiety. And all of you, if you listen about the healthy habits or the healthy lifestyle. So healthy lifestyle is to generate the positive thoughts, to create the positive thoughts. So it all these that they favor life, health, happiness, and well-being because they impact on our biochemistry in a positive way. They create the positive neurotransmitters, positive hormones, and positive shift in our biochemistry. So our physiology that reacts in that way. So it also helps in us, the connecting with other people, connecting with other thoughts, having some kind of the tolerance with different kind of the thoughts, and it works as a correcting thought process. And that is the reason, with this connecting and correcting is the reason that spirituality is spiritual thought process is equally competent or equally work well with science, philosophy, and religion. So if you look at the religions and the history of the religions and science, you will find that there were a lot of conflicts between them. And initially, the scientists would get punished because of certain religious thought process, the religiosity. So that connecting and correcting nature of the spirituality makes the all the thoughts, specifically the scientific thought process and philosophical thought process and spiritual and religious thought process, in a good communication. And that leads to, and if you will see that the many scientists, they they started thinking, talking about this spirituality after their groundbreaking this researches in groundbreaking theories in science. You take the Einstein, you take many other scientists, Carl Sagan, and there are a lot of other people who are working in science. They finally found themselves in at a different level, and there they started talking about the spirituality as well. So with increasing age, people become more spiritually inclined. So once we started aging, right from the beginning, when this process of this aging is started, naturally we become the spiritually inclined. And that is why what I talk to you, it is a very developed and evolved thought process, and that makes it uh, that is the reason that once the people they get older, they get knowledge, they get different kind of the thought process to work with, and then they becomes the more spiritually inclined. So WHO framework of healthy aging says that it is necessary to meet the basic needs, our basic needs. That is, we learn, grow, and make decisions, be mobile, build and maintain relationships, and contribute to society. Now, all these things, if you see, they will happen at every age, whether that age is 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 20-year-old, or 60 or 80 years old. But naturally, this being mobile is more important for the people who are in the age group of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So learn, grow and make decisions is important again, uh, for everyone. But to build, maintain relationship, and to contribute society in the this aging process is very important. And it requires some kind of the work on our thought process. So why the spirituality is important in healthy aging? Why this? If we look at the the definition of the spirituality and the evolution of the spirituality, spiritual thought process, and yeah, it is naturally it is different from the religious thought process, because the religiosity or the religious thought process is the primitive thought process, just like making groups, making herds in animals. And why the animals make herds? That is because of their survivality. The survival reality is make them just to make the groups, because it will help them in reproduction, it will help them in creating this the food, this for the arrangement of the food. It will help them in the security. So that this is the reason that all mammals, they make groups, whether they are living in jungles or where they, like we human beings, we are living in the what you call it, in cities or in villages. So we tend to make groups. So those groups can be the political parties. Those groups can be some social kind of uh, the uh, the social structures, the societies, and it all creates. Again, it's not working. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, so yeah.
Do you have a video there?
uh, uh, I don't have video. Yes,
Because
I'm.
it's the
Yeah, this.
circle is
Yeah,
running.
this
Yeah.
now it is with
Yes.
increasing age, people tend to be more spiritual. Okay, so spirituality has a strong attraction among people, and specifically elderly. They are more inclined toward the spirituality. Most religiosity is considered spirituality, which is fundamentally wrong, but we consider it because most of the time of the human history, most of the part of the human history, religions were considered the spirituality. So there, I don't want to go in that jargon that where adhyatma and spirituality is basically a very new term. It is only 400, 500 years old term, but our this adhyatma word is very old, for the centuries it is there. And with the development of the science and with the development of the connections, evolution of the connection of the eastern world and western world and different parts of the cultures, this spirituality world that incline towards the adhyatma. So adhyatma doesn't change much, but this basic the conceptual uh, conceptual boundaries of the spirituality has been changed a lot, and they are inclined towards our adhyatma world. So that is the different aspect of it. But uh, so healthcare providers in health system avoid to discuss it, because whenever they try to speak about something spiritual, that will directly connect to some kind of the religion. And in a diverse setting like ours in India, the healthcare providers or the health systems, they avoid to discuss it, because it brings to them towards the this religious thinking. And a lot of vested religious, political, business, and social interests tend to exploit this tendency. And we have seen, and we can go through many type of what you call it, news items, and many things that where the people are being exploited on this on the name of the spirituality. And all over the world, the spiritual that this industry, the business interest surrounding this spirituality is booming, because everybody needs to be to realize their spirituality. And to realize that spirituality, we are following some religion, we are following some guru, we are following some kind of faith or whatever not. And many times, many people like me, like us, we are following science just to realize our spirituality. So this economic and emotional and many times physical exploitation on the name of the spirituality is common, and it is not the problem in India only, but it is all over the world. It's in every country there is the problem that being the people are being exploited on it, and it's a big public health issue as well, because with this the people started neglecting the treatment. They started neglecting, saying no for the vaccinations. There are so many issues. Those can create the public health problems. People started going to the different kind of the treatments which don't have any scientific ground. So there the exploitation happens, because of the cancer patients are going to somewhere, some kind of the different unscientific treatment. So that is the reason that why I am talking about it. So the thought model of spirituality, consider the spiritual thought process as a separate thought process from religiosity. I have already told you. And on evolutionary timeline, it is a superior thought process. It is created by all the positive thoughts of humanity and human values in all other types of thoughts. So whether they are positive, the positive scientific thoughts, positive philosophical thoughts, positive religious thoughts, when you they create they when you will put them at one place, that will define the spirituality. So it works as a connecting, communicating, correcting, balancing thought in the ecosystem of the human thought process, and that makes spirituality essentially at the levels of the individual and collective levels of humanity. So what is the difference between the religious thought process and the spiritual thought process? So this difference, we can say, is the religious thought process is evolutionary primitive thought process of herd formation in animal kingdom. Spiritual thought process is evolutionarily superior thought process. Religions require spirituality for their existence, but spirituality doesn't require religion for its existence. Religions has many conflicts with scientific and philosophical thought process, and we have seen it there are plenty of examples from, if you take from the history, our developmental history of the humanity. So we will see that there were cross-ons between the scientific and philosophical thought process and religious thought process. There were a lot of violent and conflicting issues. Spirituality is equally competent with all the thought process because it liberates the thought from their boundaries. So when the religious thought process, they create boundaries, spirituality or spiritual thought process don't abolish the boundaries. So religious thought process have inherent negative thought of us and them. So this is the reason that this thought of us and them creates a lot of conflict in our history, and maximum bloodshed was on the name of the religions. You all know it about it. If you look at the human history, our the developmental history as a human race. So it is, this is the reason that and it is not the only religious thought process, but all kind of the social thought process. So religious thought process is a type of social thought process where we create the groups around some faith, so then it is a religion. So when we create a group around some chunk of land, then it is a country. When we create a group around some kind of the values, then it is politics or culture. So there are different type of these social thought process, and every time whenever you will try to touch them, it will it immediately turn on our survival instinct. And when the survival instinct is the animal instinct, and that animal instinct can go into some violence. It is just like two groups of monkeys when they are fighting with each other for their resources. So if one monkey from this group want to join another group of the monkey, it's not possible. Either the monkey will be killed or the monkey will have to surrender. Then only it can join there. It happens, and all of you can understand that it happens with the with the religious thought process as well. So spiritual thought process consists of all the positive thoughts of humanity and human values with thoughts of connectedness to inner self and outer cosmos. So it is not only the connectedness between or the communication between different types of the thoughts, different types of the thought process at the individual level and collective level of humanity, but it is about the connectedness of our inner self to outer cosmos, and that gives us a boundaryless thinking. And that boundaryless thinking is very important, and the aim of the religions is to find or realize our spirituality. So the thought model of spirituality is about the
Sir,
positive thoughts of, yes.
can we speed up, sir, please?
Yes, sir, sure, sure. So there are the religious and social thought process, the positive thoughts. I have already told about it, that all those positive thoughts, if you put it, then it becomes the fundamental ingredients of the spiritual thought process. And to conclude, I can say that healthy aging is about physiology, and it is about the mental, social, and spiritual dimensions. WHO resolution in 1983, WHO 37, considered spiritual dimension important for health. It is more so for the concept of healthy aging, but proximity of spirituality and religiosity make it conflicting for healthcare systems in religiously diverse Indian communities. And the thought model helps in defining spirituality simply as all positive thoughts, and helps us in avoiding conflict, since it consider it as a separate and evolved thought process of human mind. Uh, I think that is uh, so. That is all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience hearing. And if there is any question, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Mahesh Bhatt. And we are getting the Q&A towards the end of the session, sir. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for an interesting presentation.